Hello and welcome back to Cinnamon Sanctuary. Today we are making rice and peas, authentic Jamaican rice and peas. So stay tuned if you want to find out how I go about making this. In my pot we have about 2 cups of red kidney beans which I've left to soak overnight with the addition of some spring onion, a few sprigs of thyme and some garlic, just so that the peas get a head start in the flavor department. So I left the whole thing soak overnight, but if you don't have time, you can let this soak for about 5 to 6 hours. I think 6 hours is a sweet spot to ensure that the beans are soaked accordingly. Okay, so I've left this to soak and now it's time to cook them. So I'm going to put the stove on medium heat and let the beans cook for at least an hour, after which we can come back and find out if they are cooked through. So the beans have been cooking for an hour and 5 minutes exactly, and I'm just going back to check on them and it looks like they are pretty much done. The beans are nice and soft now, so I'm just about to remove the stalks of the thyme because we don't need them there at this point. And see, as you can see, the beans are nice and soft, which tells you that they are ready to be seasoned. So I'm just going to remove the thyme stalks, after which I'm about to add some seasoning to the beans. So I just went ahead and dropped a couple of scotch bonnet peppers, and I'm also going to add some salt. So I'm just using about 1 teaspoon of salt here, not too much. And I'm also going to be adding some all-purpose seasoning, so my usual aromat Knorr seasoning, and I went in with about 1 tablespoon of that. And I'm also going to add some black pepper. So you may have noticed I like to use quite a bit of black pepper, but you use it as you feel the need. I think I went for about 2 tablespoons of black pepper, and I'm just stirring this in, and then I'm going to go in with some coconut cream. So I like this cream coconut by Dunn's River. I love it. I love using it when I make rice and peas, and I just use half of this amount that's in here, and I use pretty much most of the actual cream that's in there as opposed to the oil. So I'm just going to drop this in and mix it all together. I had to end up kind of cutting it with a knife in the end, but I didn't show this on camera. But just to let you know, I ended up cutting this in pieces so that it dissolves a lot easier. I washed around 3.5 cups of basmati rice, which I'm now dropping into the beans. So in terms of the quantity of liquid, you see there's about 1 inch of liquid above the beans, which is all you need. Okay, you wouldn't have to add any more water to this. As you can see, there's approximately 1 inch above the peas. That's just fine. So you can let this cook covered for a bit, and once there is no more liquid, you kind of let it steam, just the way you would with jollof rice, for example. But I'll show you in a minute. It's been about 6 minutes and the rice and peas have been cooking on about low to medium heat, and as you can see, the water is almost fully absorbed. So I'm just going in very gently, stirring the bottom just to make sure that it's not too burnt. Very, very gently. You don't want to stir it too much because if you do stir it too much, you will end up very mushy, and you don't want this. And I just give it a quick little shake to make sure it stays nice and flat. And at this point, we can now reduce the heat to complete minimum and let it steam. So I'm adding the tiniest amount of water, just the tiniest amount of water to aid the steaming process. It's not really necessary, but I wanted to ensure that it will steam nicely. So I just went in with about 1 tablespoon of water, and then you can reduce your fire and let it steam. The rice and peas have been steaming beautifully for about 20 minutes now, and I'm just going to check on them, and it looks like they are done. The rice is fully cooked. It looks beautifully at this point. I'm just going in with a fork to separate the rice. And as you can see, it's looking nice and fluffy. It's not sticking together, and the flavor is amazing. The scotch bonnet has released its amazing flavor into the rice and peas, as well as the spring onions and the thyme. And the kitchen just smelled absolutely amazing at this point. So we were going to have this with some roasted chicken and gravy, and it was delicious, if I say so myself. So yeah, here is a greater shot, and voila. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you very soon on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.